Hello, greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the BFC. I hope you guys are having a great day. Yes, we finally got the much anticipated CGrowth podcast from MooMoo Link, ticker CGRA. You can see that they have recently launched a YouTube account, so you are going to want to subscribe to that account if you are a shareholder for up-to-date releases. I will put it in the description below so that way you guys can head over to their YouTube channel, click subscribe, and turn on the alerts. So I'm going to break up this podcast video into 3 parts, and the first part is regarding the path of CGrowth Capital moving forward, and why MooMoo Link decided to become controlling shareholder. I'm going to share my thoughts along the way, so let's get into this BFC breakdown.
On about the actual company CGrowth Capital, where we've got to, and how we're going forward, and sort of the ideas behind that. I took over the company because I saw a massive opportunity for a company that was undervalued. And that usually creates a lot of opportunity really to add some shareholder value, both in the short and medium term. I have an interest in companies which are undervalued, have a relatively clean structure, and maybe crazily enough have the right amount of outstanding shares that there can actually be some volume created. The OTC investor is typically a more short-term trader rather than a long-term investor, as you would get on the big boards. And what I mean by that is, as we see in some of the stocks that have really tight floats, which is obviously the ultimate company. However, on the OTC, that doesn't particularly work very well because it can't get any liquidity into the stock. It can't get any trading. The OTC traders don't pay high cents and dollars for stock. It just doesn't happen in the majority of circumstances. Therefore, there isn't the volume. And if there isn't the volume, there isn't the interest. You don't get enough shareholders trying to buy. The price doesn't move. You can't raise capital. So although, in a big board or a normal company, a very, very tight low float makes, is the ultimate. And the OTC, in my belief, maybe my opinion, but in my belief, it doesn't work that well. You sort of need the right volume of shares outstanding that you can actually create the liquidity as the shareholders want to buy their stock available. The orders can get filled. It creates movement. It creates liquidity, which makes it available to raise capital much easier. But also it creates a good trading opportunity for their investor base. However, that said, it can obviously get too top heavy, and I felt capital growth or growth capital was sort of just the right level, maybe a little bit on the heavy side, but the right level. But kind of the way the deal has been structured, there isn't really many more shares to go out, or any more shares really to go out. So there's a tiny, which I'll talk a little bit later, there's a tiny little bit of debt left, but the majority was spun out, which I'll talk about. So firstly, I took it over because I like the structure. I like the way it was. I thought it was really, really undervalued. I like taking a company from pink, and then we can climb it up, get it fully reporting. Once it's fully reporting, then go to QB, and then look to take it up to a big board, which would be the journey.
All right, I'm going to stop right there. So yes, he did acknowledge that they do have little debt. So make sure that anybody that's saying, yeah, they're a debt-ridden company, most of the debt was cleared, and there is little debt left. But I like the point that he just made, and I want to remind you, and I will remind myself, they have a process, and so he did the same thing he's doing with ILUS, getting them out of the pink sheets and getting them fully reporting, which that's what's happening, and getting them on the OTC QB and then onto the big board. So that's why I'm excited about getting in early with this investment, because I look at how they have executed their vision with ILUS, and I think they're going to do the same thing here. So like I said, I call it the MooMoo Link factor, and that he just touched on it right there. So I'm going to just keep going on here.
Now, that said, it's really, really important. And I know, again, this, upsets the traders sometimes, that takes time. And I know, we've got a strong saying in the ILUS business, to trust the process. And it really is about a process. If you take it over, jump in, all guns blazing, rush a couple of deals, eventually the house of cards falls over, which is not what anyone wants. And I know in the short term, the shareholders are happy and, sending you roses and bottles of champagne. However, longer term, they're all going to come running after us with guns.
Whoa, Nick, you just took it to level 7, man. Chill out.
It's no, I'm joking, but you know what I mean. It's really important that we build a solid foundation, solid structures from the ground up. And that does mean that it takes a little bit of time, especially on a company like Growth Capital, that we've got to reorganize, bring in the new management who are experienced in the sector. We've got to get a whole load of fundamentals done. And then the two deals are lined up. They're basically ready to close. I'd like to say within days, but it's definitely within weeks. And then after that,
Yes, don't hold him to days and weeks. Like, honestly, it's natural. I mean, he has his timelines. It could fluctuate. I know some of you are probably cringing. Don't you do the timelines? Don't give us weeks. Don't give us a timeline. But you know what? In the business world, you do have a specific timeline for when you want to get things done. Most of the time, it does not work out exactly. And he does not rush deals. The one thing I know is that they don't rush deals. They want things to go 100% the way for the shareholder and 100% for the company. So let's not just focus on these timelines. Let's just keep going here.
it should be close close execution of a lot more deals and a lot more really interesting, exciting news. I appreciate this. Interim period has been a little bit dull and a little bit quiet, but we've been working behind the scenes to get all the things ready. The deal ended up closing a little bit quicker than we had anticipated. Hence why we were caught a little bit with our pants down that the website wasn't done, the social medias were not all in place, but that'll be in place, I'm hoping, by the end of January. The new exciting website, the shareholder engagement off the back of the website with the data room and all the fundamentals that we need to engage with you, the shareholders, and be able to update you on a daily and weekly basis of what's really going on, and again, improve social media, rebranding. So that's all going on rapidly behind the scenes, and I'm hoping by the end of January that'll all be in place.
But don't quote him on it, all right? Hoping by the end of January. I'm going to stop interrupting him. I'm going to let him go, but I want you guys to know, like, it might be the first week of February or maybe mid-February. And I can tell you, these guys are going to have a lot of news coming out. They're just getting started, so let's see what happens.
Which, again, should be a good news feed for the shareholders as all that stuff sort of starts to materialize, during which time I hope that the first one, possibly two deals are completed. Now, I'll talk about those deals a little bit later in this presentation. But ultimately, what we really need to do is create these foundations, get the company nice and solid, get the stock trading nicely, which really is about getting shareholder buy-in, getting eyes on our stock, getting people to know about the business, what it's up to, what it's doing, get people to understand the deals that are coming in or have and / are coming in, and then after that point, we're then able to execute a lot quicker on everything. And then we'll move pretty quickly into the fully reporting stage and onwards.
Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop for this first clip. And I'm going to tell you right now, I definitely think that they're laying the foundation right now is what they're doing. They're just getting started here. So, laying the foundation, getting the websites, getting the marketing, getting everything squared away. They really want to finalize these two acquisitions. I think it's crucial. It's absolutely important that they hit the ground running, but they also lay that foundation. You don't want to build a castle in the sky. Somebody told me that. And I am going to have a chance to meet Nick Link in a couple of weeks at the ILUS shareholder meeting. I'm going to inquire even further into the details regarding possible CGrowth share structure changes. And I will be doing a lot of listening as well, because I'm sure many people have questions. A lot of the new CGRA, CGrowth shareholders are long-term ILUS shareholders. So a lot of people fall in the boat that I'm in. So I've been holding ILUS for a very long time, and they're the reason why I am now invested in CGRA, because of that common denominator, Nick Link. Listen, that's all I got. I'm going to share 2 more clips of this podcast in the coming days. I hope you guys have a great day. Remember, there's more that binds us than breaks us. You guys have a great night. Peace.